This is the card that I enclose with the gifts that I give for the Hugs and Stitches project. If you haven't heard about it, or you have and you think you might want to join as an official member and get your name on our list, it doesn't cost anything. You're not obligated in any way. You just get on the list and your country gets represented. So I needed your name and your country you live in the comments, and I'll put you on our list. We're looking to have 1,000 different stitchers in a excuse me, in 100 different countries. Right now we have 8 stitchers besides myself, and we represent 5 countries. So plenty of room for lots more friends to help us out. But this is the card that I use when I'm gifting, and so I just thought I'd show it to you and give you some idea of what you might stick into your package. Now on the back of the card, depending on what it is that I'm gifting, I write a little hand note to say, for instance, I hope they enjoy this little mug mat, which is what this is here, and or whatever it is that I'm giving at the time, and that way the whole thing is explained, what it is I'm giving and the intent behind it. Okay, but I made this little mug mat by fussy cutting out of home decor fabric these elements and putting it on a batting and lace background to give it a vintage look, which I think it does very well, and I love it. I think it's really, really pretty, and it's so simple. And in just a minute, I'm going to show you how I put that together. Another one that I just finished that I'm going to be gifting is this one. Now this was made just a little different. I started out the same size, but this one is machine sewn, and so when you do that and turn it inside out, it gets a little smaller, but it's still big enough. My cup of tea here would fit on it just fine. Okay, as you can see that. All right, and that's a big cup of tea, by the way. And so this one has lots of hand stitching where I slow stitch the elements. Again, these were fussy cut out of a different fabric and then sewn onto some background fabrics and then machine sewn together. Okay, this one is done the same way, but then it's just whip stitched around the outside, as you can see. It keeps it a bigger size, which I really prefer to do it this way. It's a little bit bigger. Okay, and again, it fits a cup nicely that way. All right. So these are my latest projects in the Hugs and Stitches. And again, I invite you to join us. We would like some more names on our official list. And like I said, there's no obligation. You don't have to pay anything. There's no requirement to how many items you have to make or anything like that. This is an ongoing project. I will be doing this from now on. And so it's just when you feel like making something charitable and you have someone in mind to give it to, or an organization or whatever, gift it along with a card that lets them know that the hugs in this gift are represented by the stitches. And you can see there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of hugs in there. And that's what we want them to feel. Okay. Okay, stay here and we'll get into how we're going to make this. Have you ever seen a piece of cloth that is your home decor fabrics and you just fell in love with the colors? I'm partial to florals, but whatever the design is, but you think, oh, that's just so beautiful. I wish I could do something with that, but it's just so busy, and I don't know what in the world I could do with that, Well, today I'm going to show you what I do with them sometimes, and I hope you'll enjoy it. It's a very small stitching project and one anyone can do. As you can see, I have cut some pieces out of this here. And then after I cut a few pieces, I fussy cut down some more until I arrived with these pieces here. I'm thinking that this is going to be sufficient for what I'm doing here. Now, this is just a piece of quilt batting with some lace on top, okay? And that's what I'm going to use for my base. You could use anything. Linen would be beautiful on this. Maybe a little muslin even with some lace over it. However you wanted to do it. A lightly woven cotton fabric would be nice. If I had a bigger piece of that, I would do it over that, but I don't have a bigger piece of that. So, but let's see what we can do here with this. I tried to cut knowing that I would want something a little taller and that would, you know, give me a floral effect where it's going out. Okay, right now I'm going to unpin this lace so that I can get these in place. And of course, you can play with this all day long until you get it where you want it. I'm going to do it about right there, I think. And this next biggest piece, I believe I'm going to set it right there. And to balance that, I think I'm going to lay this piece in over here. I'm going to have to bring this over a little bit. Lap that a little bit more. And then tuck this right under that edge. Okay. That looks pretty good already, don't you think? Okay. Now, I thought, let's make it just a little more substantial on this side. Let's put this one in here and let this one overlap it like that. And then maybe, let's see how this might look. What if we put a floral, small one, maybe right in there, and tuck a big one right down here. Now I'm liking that. It has lots of little tiny spaces so that we get a sense of a floral bouquet here. I don't think it's too busy. The individual flowers that I cut out, where were they? Let's see if I can find them on here for you. I don't know if they repeat on here or not. No, they don't. That particular flower doesn't repeat, but anyway, just the blooms allows me then to have a little bit more control. Also, the smaller pieces with the leaves and things helps me to have a little more control. So you cut out different pieces. I had these pieces, but when I was playing around with it, I just didn't find a place with those, so I saved those for the next one. So let's pin this in. And we want to do just a simple, some simple stitching on this. I don't know whether I got a dull pin or it's the lace. Sometimes lace can be very hard to get through. Thinking that might be a dull pin. Let's take him out. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay. Just put enough pins in it that it keeps everything in place till we can get it stitched down. I haven't stitched through this fabric, but it felt like it would be pretty easy to stitch through. Okay. Now I chose some different colors of threads here. Some of the dusty roses with a little bit brighter coral. Some of the more golden area. And a little bit of brighter green, teeny bit, and a little bit of darker green. We'll just see what we can do with that. Let me thread up my needle and for this tan color that looked like it would go pretty nice around these flowers to get them down. Okay. I'm going to bring you down some. Now, I think I'm going to do the backgrounds first. Let's take this one and let's just do it. And if you notice, some of this was cut with pinking shears and some was cut straight. So it really doesn't matter. I think I cut some of the motifs out with pinking shears in larger pieces and used the pinking shears so that nothing would unravel until I cut this, you know, fussy cut it more and got it more of the shapes that I wanted. And I'm just going to do a running stitch, a small running stitch to get these down in the background. And this color will kind of blend well. And that's good. I want to use a little accent colors in the flowers a little bit, I think. You know, this is, I don't have any planned out. I'm just going intuitively as I stitch along here. But this should make a really pretty little piece. And we may be able to tuck some laces in. I was also thinking, let's look at that a minute. If we took some of the little lace pieces that I had and maybe work them under and around some of the little pieces. We'll see how that goes as we get up in more into the flowers. You know, you can usually get these remnants all day long of home decor fabrics. The end of bolts as they cut things off. Sometimes sample cards are available, but lots of times there are remnants. And if not, they're often the fabrics that you might find in a thrift store where someone has changed out their bedspreads, pillow shams, curtains, things like that. And you'll find a lot of these home decor patterns and fabrics that are, you know, thrifted and given to Goodwill and things like that. This is not a heavyweight fabric, so this was probably a drape fabric because it's not real heavy, and it's, even though it's pretty tightly woven and it doesn't ravel just real easy, it's still pretty lightweight, and as you can see, the needle goes through it pretty nice. Sometimes I have more trouble sewing through lace, which looks lightweight, than I do fabrics that are much heavier. So we're going to do, just do this running stitch around, and I'm going to get all these tacked down, and then I'll come back and we'll start on a different area.